In 1923, Columbia was generally believed to be a place of peace. Traditional Southern roots were slowly becoming less important as the university's liberal population and ideas began taking over. The white and black communities were not joined as one, but they were at ease with each other. The entire community prided themselves on stopping the KKK from opening a chapter in Columbia. The only conflict the town seemed to have was with the University of Kansas and the traditional border war. Herman Olmsted was a German professor at MU. He was an intelligent member of Columbia, the first valedictorian to speak in the New Jesse Hall. He endured some racism from his German heritage during this period. One of his daughters, Regina, was walking home from her music lesson when she became the victim of an assault over Stewart Bridge. Stewart Bridge was a result of Columbia's growth in the late 19th century. John Stewart, a former judge of Boone County Court, wanted housing to expand into his pasture of land. However, there was a 30-foot deep ravine occupied by Flat Branch Creek and the MKT tracks blocking his dream. People would have to climb down the muddy slope, cross the tracks in a small creek, and then climb up the other side in order to cross. In 1906, Stewart built a steel and concrete bridge across the ravine and donated it to the city in order to make his housing dream a reality. Regina and the Olmsted family were one of many who lived in the Stewart's old pasture in the 20s. She crossed that bridge every day to get back home. April 20th, 1923 was just like any other day for Regina, except a black man was standing on the tracks below the bridge, saying there was a child wandering over them and he needed help getting her. Regina climbed down the ravine to search a valley. There was no child in sight, and Regina realized the black man was stalking her. She tried to climb up the other hill towards her house, but the man grabbed her, punched her, took out a knife, and strangled her with his belt, all the while claiming revenge on the white man who stole his wife. He planned to do this by raping a white woman. Regina fought back, beating him around the face with her umbrella until it broke into pieces. Before anything could happen, a passing railroad crew scared him off. Regina described the man as 25 to 30 years of age, smelling of chemicals and sporting a Charlie Chaplin mustache. The Columbia Daily Tribune highly publicized the attack, condemning it as unspeakable and leading people to believe she was raped. The police searched the black neighborhood for a Charlie Chaplin mustache and arrested James T. Scott. He was 5'4", 135 pounds, and soft-spoken. A World War I veteran decorated for valor, he came to Columbia from Chicago in 1920 to join his parents. He was considered a prominent member of Columbia's black community. He had a full-time job working as a janitor in the University Medical Building, making $65 a month. His wife, Gertrude Carter Scott, was a teacher at Douglas Elementary School, making $75 a month. He lived in the West End, the middle-class portion of the black community. Scott was able to afford a nice lawyer. George Vaughn, a black lawyer from St. Louis, was added to the team defending Scott. There were tests conducted to provide evidence against Scott. Scott was brought to the curb of Regina's house. She identified him from the porch by screaming and hiding. She had to pick out the chemical she smelled, which was formaldehyde, used to preserve specimens at the medical school. She also picked his voice out of 4 black prisoners. After this, and an anonymous tip putting Scott near the bridge at the time of the attack, Scott was announced to the papers. The Columbia Daily Tribune immediately showed their fury.